Okay, let's do our usual warm-up. So let's do a march on the spot. Okay, or just moving any way that can get your body temperature a little bit higher. Okay, and also move our joints as well. So let's just start off with looking up and down as we usually do. Okay, and slowly see if you can move the rest of the spine as well. So slouch a little bit as you breathe out. Okay, arch your back a little bit, bring your chest up to the ceiling gently as you look up. Okay, and just repeat a few times. You can slowly try to relax the rest of the spine a little bit more and kind of extend or arch your back a little bit more. Okay, without going into pain. Okay, and let's rotate our spine. So let's look left and right first. Okay, and once again, you can slowly incorporate the rest of your spine. So you can slowly turn your shoulders as well. Turn into the lower back. You can even glance behind you, so move your eyes as well. Okay, if it's okay, you can move your shoulders as well. Okay, see if you can reach across to the opposite hip. Okay, but once again, not going into pain. Okay, let's open the shoulders a little bit more. So just try to reach behind you with your fingertips a little bit more. So open the palm up. Just straighten the elbows a little bit. Okay, let's go side to side. Okay, let's go into a little bit of side bending. So we're going to press up to the ceiling. Okay, maybe smaller motion first, as usual. If it's okay for you, then you can see we go into a deeper range. Once again, also try to open your palm up, press up to the ceiling. Okay, deep breath in as we reach up. Okay, let's go forward and back. So one arm up, one arm back. Okay, and just alternate. Okay, try to separate two hands a little bit. So one arm reach down, one arm reach up. Okay, and both thumbs more or less points backwards. Okay, and let's just go into a big circle. Okay, so arms are technically, you can go into a swing like a front stroke, or you can, if you want, go into opposite direction with your hands. Okay, and let's just kind of rotate the rest of the arm. Keep the elbows close to the ribs. Hands and wrists move out and back in. Okay, so we're externally rotating our arm. Okay, let's do the opposite. Let's internally rotate. So reaching in into the armpits, thumb facing backwards. Okay, rotate back out and just repeat. Okay, so your whole arm is rotated downwards and inwards, you can call it. Okay, and rotating your wrists. Okay, it's kind of as big of a circle as we feel comfortable. Okay, and open, closing the fingers or the hand. Okay, open, closing the tips of the fingers. Okay, side to side a few times. Okay, maybe wiggle the fingers a little bit. Okay, shake everything out. Okay, let's move the hips a little bit more. So just go into a exaggerated hip circle. Relax the upper body a little bit. Okay, change direction when you want to. Okay, this exaggerated backwards motion. So this is once again hip hinge movement. So you're bending from your hips, okay, but your back stays nice and long. You feel a little bit of stretch behind the thighs. Okay, and just kind of back and forth a few times. It can be a soft bend in the knees. Okay, so let's make it a little harder. So we're going to go stay here. Okay, we're going to go into like a T. So engage the back muscles to pull the arms back. Arms, elbow expansion should be a little bit easier. Okay, and then go into, I guess, a W. So kind of hands up. Okay, and then go into an I. So arms straight overhead. So it'll be something like this. Okay, so kind of a little bit lower first, a little bit higher. Okay, and then right above the head. Okay, let's do about 3 to 5 times. Okay, so let's try to squeeze the muscles in your mid-back area. Okay, and just 3 to 5 times at your own pace. Okay, and coming back out. Okay, let's rotate the shoulders a little bit. Okay, let's stretch the front a little bit. So one hip forward, one hip back. Okay, you just try to press the hip forward while raising the front of your belt up. If you need to, hold on to something like a wall or a chair. Okay, so breathe in and relax. Okay, if you want, you can kind of reach up on one side. Okay, so my left leg is back. I'm raising my left arm. Okay, so I'm pressing kind of my left side forward as I breathe in. Back leg is more or less straight. And we do the same thing on the other side. So belt buckle up. Okay, once again, breathing in. Pressing my right side forward this time. These are my hips and my armpit. You probably should hold something. So you might feel a stretch from the hip all the way to the kind of the side of your trunk. Okay, let's shake it off a little bit more. So once again, hold on to something if you need to. Okay, but I'm swinging my leg back and forth, moving from my hips primarily. Okay, yeah, maybe a few times. Same thing on the other side. Okay, and then side to side as well. So kind of in and out. Okay, once again, hold on to something. Okay, let's exaggerate this a little bit. So scooping up and something up with the inside of our foot. Okay, and then try to point your toes kind of more forward. You can think of just scooping something up on the side as well. Okay, so once again, use support as necessary. Okay, same thing on the other side. Let's make it kind of fast and loose first. Okay, and then maybe a little more exaggerated. So once again, scooping something from the inside of the foot. Okay, scooping something out from the outside. Okay, maybe just 3 to 5 times at your own pace. Okay, let's loosen up the knees. So just bend and extend. Try to see if you can get your heels closer to your butt. Okay, the ankles, let's kind of tilt it side to side a little bit. Okay, let's tilt your kind of front to back. So shifting our weight from the heels to the toes. Going a little higher if you feel comfortable. Okay, and going into an ankle circle. So you can do it on the ground if you want to, or off the ground. Okay, same thing on the other side. Okay, and let's move our toes a little bit as well. So let's just try to keep our foot on the floor, but keep lifting the toes up. Okay, doing the opposite, scratching the floor a little bit. Okay, if you can, see if you can just lift the big toe up, or even just draw a circle, the toes, big toe pressing inwards a little bit. It can be hard to control if you have problems with the feet. It might not be possible. Okay, and if you can, also see if you can circle the other toes as well. So try to spread them out a little bit. Okay, just doing the best we can. Okay, so shake the wing loose again, and let's get ready for our 10-minute sets. So I'm still going to be setting a timer in the background. Every time it beeps is about 30 seconds. Okay, so starting off, you're starting to get a little faster, but once again, let yourself warm up. Okay, get your heart rate, slowly get your heart rate up. Okay, if you have balance issues and you don't feel comfortable lifting, you can still just keep your toes on the ground and just kind of maybe move your heels, or maybe even just move the arms. Okay, maybe slowly speeding up again. Okay, how fast is completely up to you. So first round, let's just do an exaggerated walk. So try to maybe swing from your shoulders a little bit more, bring your knees a little bit higher. You just can't go into an exaggerated walk or march. Back to a normal march. Okay, once again, adjust the speed depending on how you're feeling. Okay, next round, let's just try to go a little bit faster. So just a normal march. Even slightly faster than before. Even once again, fastest is relative to yourself, so see how you feel. Okay, about 12 more seconds. Five more. Slow it back down a little bit. Okay, or keep up the pace if you feel like okay. We just want to be slightly out of breath, so you should still be able to talk like I'm doing now, but I need to take a breath after a short sentence. Okay, let's move the hips in different directions. So let's start off kind of front to back a little bit. So we're going to be moving just kind of one leg, okay? And you're just going to be kind of tapping the floor front to back. Okay, so you're balancing on one leg. Okay, if you wanted to make it more difficult, you can lift the entire knee up, okay, or even reach further back. Okay, but you can also just tap the floor as well. It's going to be the standing leg that's going to be tired, and also the standing foot as well. And just going into our active rest. Okay, next round, just the exact same thing, just with the opposite leg. Okay, about 5 more seconds first. Okay, and then just the other leg, just tapping front to back. Keep bigger motions if you feel comfortable. Okay, once again, it's the non-moving leg that's probably going to be tired. Okay, next one kind of similar. We're still going to be kind of standing on one foot or balance on one foot. Okay, we're just going to be tapping kind of side to side instead of front to back. Okay, so if you have hip problems, if you just go to the midline, you don't have to cross too far inwards. Okay, so kind of tapping in and out, still standing on one foot. If you feel comfortable, you can just tap in and try and lift it, your foot up. Okay, a little bit harder to balance. Okay, remember you still want your standing leg to be in good alignment, so your hip, knee, and the foot should be kind of in a straight line. Okay, and for the next round, we're just going to do the exact same thing, but with the other foot. Okay, about 10 more seconds before we do the tapping. Okay, and going into onto the other foot. Okay, use your arms to counterbalance. Okay, or even just hold on to something. Okay, once again, if you feel comfortable, you can even kick it off the floor. Okay, the motion doesn't necessarily have to be big. Okay, it could be just a small motion. The goal is still to move multiple body parts, so our heart pumps a little bit faster, our breathing gets a little bit faster. Okay, let's go almost into a hip circle, the next one. So we're going to go the first part first. So we need almost like a quarter circle. So we're just going to be circling, lifting your knees up and then out. Okay, if you want, you can move the same side of the arm. Okay, or opposite side might be a little bit easier to balance. Okay, you can exaggerate motion a little more if you feel comfortable. Two more minutes in this set. Okay, next one, kind of similar, but kind of maybe opposite direction. So you're going to try to bring your knees and your elbow a little bit closer together. It doesn't have to touch. You can just point to each other. If you have back problems, just point. Okay, if you don't, if back is fine, you can see if you can get them a little bit closer together. Okay, so it'll be opposite arm and leg. So it'll be right arm, left leg, yeah, and left arm, right leg. Okay, if you don't have any chest problem, if you don't have any back problems, you can see if you can get them a little closer. Maybe a little bit of engagement in the abs, probably a little high in the front of the hips. Okay, so last one, we're just going to be still marching, but arms reaching upwards a little higher this time. Okay, so okay, maybe moderate speed. The elbows could be just to shoulder height. I think that might be the most comfortable for most people. But your shoulders might feel a little bit tired. Okay, a couple more seconds. And slowing back down. So that was our first 10 minutes. It's always remember to gradually slow back down. So depending on how you feel, just keep moving, keep marching, or just even kind of pumping your heels until you feel like your breathing is back down, your heart rate maybe coming back down a little bit. Okay, so for the mini cooldown, let's just do the figure 8 walk. Okay, so you'll be kind of the number 8. So you could be circling kind of a double circle, maybe you can think of it, or just the number 8. Okay, if you can, see if you can focus on one point in the distance. So your body is moving, but your head is going almost in another direction. Okay, just think of this as a cooldown. So no need to try too hard. Okay, so let's stretch the time. Right now it should be 9:54. So let's come back in 2 minutes. Okay, so 9:56, we'll resume the second set. Okay, we will be using a towel. You don't necessarily have to have one, but it might make it more interesting. So if you want to, you can grab one. Okay, but see everyone at 9:56. Okay, so almost 2 minutes. Okay, so we'll just be starting off just grabbing the kind of 2 ends of the towel. Okay, so still gradually ramping up. you're okay, then start to get back to your target pace. Okay, so the towel just serves as a bit of a little bit of resistance. Okay, so first round, we're just going to move the elbows a little bit more. Okay, so just kind of like drumming. Okay, while keeping up our feet. You might feel your abdominal muscles kind of contracting a little bit as well. So they're working to kind of stabilize your body. Okay, so once again, still find your pace. Okay, so the next one, we are just going to go into bigger motion. So we kind of swing over our head and then back down. Okay, be careful with any recent chest surgeries or shoulder issues. Okay, just go to the range that you feel comfortable in. Okay, so legs still moving. Okay, of course, if your shoulders is fine, your chest is fine, you can do bigger motion or even just go faster if you want to. Okay, and take a break if you need to. But still try to keep moving in some ways. Okay, so next one, very, very similar, but we're going to start marching our feet. Okay, instead, we're going to kind of get them to maybe shoulder width apart. Okay, we're going to swing the towels kind of in between your legs and then stand up. So we're not only using our arms this time, we are going to be hinging back. So sitting on a tall stool and then standing back up. Okay, so we are powering almost a towel instead of using our arms. We're going to kind of launch it almost with our hips instead. So we're kind of popping the hips forward, okay, or setting up kind of quickly, okay, and the towel should just kind of fly up, even if your arms are not, if your arms are just holding the weight. Okay, you can of course still use the arms to help if you want to, but try to launch it with the hips a little bit more. Okay, and still take a rest in between. Okay, so next one, very, very similar, but instead of kind of getting in between our feet, we're going to go side a little bit, so a little bit turn the body. You can launch it up, okay, and then swing it the other way, launch it up, swing it across the other leg. Okay, so almost the exact same motion, just a little bit side to side movements. Okay, so we start off up. Okay, so still try to almost launch it up with your hips. So just think of kind of standing back up slightly more quickly. Okay, kind of like shuffling snow. We're not, we don't want to just use the arms. Okay, we want to engage the bigger muscles of the legs or the hips as well. Okay, could get you a little out of breath just because the legs, you're using arms and legs, and the legs are a bigger muscle. Okay, so next one, a similar idea, still powering with our hips mostly. We're going to turn side to side. So let's start off with the towels closer to your chest. Okay, so we're just turning side to side a little bit. Okay, so we're not so much using our shoulders as much. Okay, we are swinging the towel mostly by turning our hips, turning our feet. Okay, and you can faster if you want. Okay, but turn your feet, so don't just stretch your spine. Don't just switch to these. Okay, and maybe back to a march or any sort of movement. Okay, so next one, let's move our arms a little bit more this time. So we're just gonna be swinging it in front of you. So let's stop our feet as well. Okay, so a little bit more arm motion this time. Your trunk muscles, your back muscles may feel a little bit tighter. Okay, because once again, it's kind of stabilizing your body. 5 more seconds or so. Okay, so maybe slightly shoulder tightness, but maybe a little bit kind of ab tightness maybe. Okay, next one, same idea, just in the opposite direction. Okay, so the rest of the body is stabilizing like a windmill. The arms are the one that's moving. Couple more seconds. Okay, and away. Okay, so maybe not, you can do bigger motion, which might actually be easier. Get smaller and faster will be, you should feel a little bit more abs tightness at least. Okay, probably makes it hard to take a deep breath in as well. Okay, so this is when you need to learn to kind of breathe into our ribs. So you probably felt like your abs are tightening, so that makes it harder for your diaphragm to almost extend downwards. Okay, so which is why it's also important to learn to kind of expand our ribs on the side to get air in. Okay, next one, still a little bit more shoulders, a little bit more grip. So we grab it both ends of the towels with one arm or one hand. Okay, and we're just going to swing it behind us. Okay, so slow will be easier. Okay, faster will be harder. Okay, both on the shoulders and on your grip. Kind of even rotate it in slightly different directions if you want to. Okay, so this one probably shoulders a little more tight. Grip definitely has to work harder. Yeah, and just kind of do our mini rest. Okay, and then last round, just going to be other hand, same thing. Rotating from bottom to up would be, I think it's easier, or rotating it backwards. Okay, and we start off slow once again. Okay, if it's comfortable for you, you can try to see if you can swing it a little bit faster. Ten more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that kind of went by quickly, I think. So let's slow down. Okay, so let's maybe drop it down there first. Okay, let's keep it simple and let's just do the tightrope walking. So kind of one foot a little bit more ahead of the other. Okay, and if you want, also add a little bit of head turning as well. So focus on one point in the distance. Okay, and just kind of turn your head side to side while keeping your focus at that point. Okay, and maybe see if you can still move front to back. Okay, just be careful of your surroundings as usual. Okay, widen your feet a little bit more if you feel like you're a little unsteady. You can also try up and down. Okay, or you can go in a circle. Okay, but if that makes you dizzy, please stop. Okay, so let's check the time. Right now is about 7:30, so 10:07. So let's come back about 10:09. So definitely drink enough fluids. Definitely be sweated. Okay, we might still use the towel for a few more rounds. Okay, so if you want to, you can still hold on to it for now. So we might still use it for a little bit more. The first minute still. Okay, if you feel completely warm up by now, so you could go right into it, but maybe still gradually increase. Okay, so first round, probably start marching the feet, okay, and then we'll just do like a cross, okay, so bigger movement as a combination, so hips should still turn a little bit, but your shoulders is going to be moved at the same time as well. Okay, probably easier if you're not marching, so so slight turn in the hips, okay, and slight movement in the arms as well. Okay, so just think of you chopping something down, kind of top to bottom, but slightly diagonal. Okay, so next one, exact same movement, okay, but we're gonna do it with one arm instead. Okay, so you're just gonna be grabbing both ends. Okay, be, I guess, slightly more careful with this one. It's just you are relying on one shoulder joint. Okay, so slower, smaller motion, lower speed at the beginning. Okay, if you know you're okay, then you can feel free to speed up or do slightly bigger motion. Okay, still turn your hips side to side a little bit. Okay. Next round, same thing, just opposite hand. So once again, slower first. Okay, smaller motion. Okay, and just maybe gradually increase if you know you're okay. Probably stop marching would be easier. Okay, the grip might be the hardest thing here. Okay, so next round we're just going to go back into swinging up and down, but instead of both arms, let's just try kind of one arm. Okay, so it'll be kind of squatting down, almost jumping up, and then swing it, the towel to the side of your leg. Okay, so something like this. Okay, elbows doesn't have to go too high. Okay, maybe at most just shoulder height. Still try to launch it up with the hips a little bit. At least don't just rely on just your arms. Okay, and next one, just the opposite arm. Okay, once again, just don't overload the shoulders too much. So take it a little easy if you're not used to moving the shoulders around. Still roughly elbow to shoulder height. It's probably safest. So bend the elbows instead. Okay, and for the kind of a last round of towel, we're going to let out some stress. So what we're going to do is that you can bunch it in the ball if you want to. What you're going to do is going to kind of almost jump up, okay, and then you can slam it the towel down. Okay, so if you want to, you can let go of the rope or the towel completely. So two options: you can either slap it on a chair, which would make it easier for you to pick up, or if you feel comfortable, you can slap it on the floor. So okay, so you're picking something up, and then might be easier if it's actually the floor. Oops. Okay, you can use the whole body if you want to slam it down. Okay, so let's we can start using the rope or the towel for now. That was kind of for fun, and also just learn to also engage the front side, I guess, the whole front line of body to get something there. Okay, so let's give the shoulders a little bit more rest. Okay, we're just going to go into a little more hips. Okay, so let's just keep it simple. We are just going to kind of kick it one leg out a little bit. Okay, you can just think of standing straight up as you lift the leg up as well. Okay, or you can think of just tapping, reaching to the side. Okay, so mostly just the side of the hips. That's going to be tired. Okay, you can add a little bit of a mini squat at the middle if you want to. Okay, so primarily side of the hips. That should be tied. Okay, next one, very similar. Just try to kick it backwards. Okay, so don't think of lifting it so much. Usually we over-engage the back if we think of lifting it. Try to think of driving your heels kind of far behind you and feel the butt muscles tighten as you reach back. So think of driving the heels far back behind you. Don't necessarily think of lifting it up. Okay, arms can be just whatever you need to do to stay balanced. Okay, but try to feel your butt tightening as you kick your leg back. Last round. Okay, so still keeping it simple. Let's just try to kick the heel up. Okay, use your hands at the target if you want to. Okay, just try to get your heel closer to the butt. Feel your back reflex engaging. Okay, a few more seconds before we do that. Okay, so you can just try to get your heel to be close to your butt. Sometimes it helps to have a target. So we can use our hands. Where we need to hold something, just keep doing that. Okay, so that was our last round. Okay, so good job, everyone. Let's slow back then. Oops, I think someone started sharing for some reason. Let me see if we can stop. Okay, so last cool down, let's just do the crisscross rock. So you're just going to be putting one foot in front of the other, bring the other foot out, the other one behind. Okay, so you're just moving side to side as you do this. If you feel comfortable, you can cross it over completely if you want to. Okay, so let's just stretch it out a little bit. So today we did use the shoulders a little bit more. So let's just do a basic shoulder stretch. So reach across, other arm underneath the elbow. Okay, try to grab your arm, pull it closer to your chest. Deep breath in and out. Okay, so you can still keep moving if you still feel like your heart rate's still a little fast. Okay, so if your breathing is still a little fast. Okay, switch arms whenever you feel like it. Back arm, maybe hold it at least for 15 seconds. Okay, so we did grip a little bit more today, so let's just do a basic prayer stretch. So palms together. Okay, bring the wrist down. Let's try to straighten out the fingers. Okay, almost try to pull your fingertips apart even. Okay, so the back of your hand tightens a little bit. Okay, so while we're doing this, let's try to slow down our breathing a little bit. Okay, so take a deeper breath in. Okay, let the air out, back out slowly or more slowly than usual. Okay, and we'll just do our usual calf stretch and also the hip flexor stretch. Okay, so grab a chair, grab a wall, grab anything that you can get your toes higher than your heels. Okay, and just get your body weight or your hips a little bit more forward until you feel a stretch behind your lower leg. And switch to the other side whenever you are ready. And let's stretch the front of the hips. So same as the warm up, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Okay, as wide of a stance as you need to balance. Okay, pull the fronts of your pants up towards the ceiling. Okay, back leg more or less straight. Back heel if you can, get a little bit closer to the ground. And just kind of press your hips forward. Even lightly squeeze your butt muscles to think, you can think of pulling your leg back as well. Your back should be in the same shape as if you're just standing normally. So not an exaggerated curve. Okay, and switch whenever you're ready. Okay, so still buckle up. Okay, check your back a little bit if you want to. So in a tight position, or maybe even in comfortable position, see if you can relax your body by taking a bigger breath in. Almost imagine trying to breathe into the area where you feel the tightness. And let's just shake everything else. Okay, and that's it for today. So thank you for coming, everyone. See everyone next time. No problem. Take care.